Good morning, everybody. It's Brandon. We're at a non-disclosed Chevrolet store in a state where one-party consent recording is completely legal, so I'm allowed to record this conversation. And if I don't tell you who it is specifically that I'm talking to, it's not illegal for me to post it. Anyway, we're going to, you'll hear what I'm saying once we get in here. I'm basically just asking for information from a random Chevrolet store about my vehicle to demonstrate that the warranty is still active. The powertrain warranty is still active as of today, which is, let's just pull it up here on my phone so you guys know I'm not bluffing you. Today is Thursday, November 20th, 2025. Okay, you can see it there at the top corner, November 20th, and it's the year 2025. And anyhow, you'll see here in a second what this is about. It's just basically indicating that as of right now, GM has not given me, nor the dealer or my C8 Z06 is being held in their service department up on a lift in their shop. GM has not indicated that the warranty is voided, nor have they indicated that the dealership is allowed to move forward under warranty repair. So General Motors is just basically wasting everybody's time, which can negatively affect the dealer and thus myself financially, because then all of a sudden I receive a bill that, oh, this car has been in the shop for a month and we don't owe you any car payments and we don't owe you any, reimbursement, and you owe the shop money because the car was in the shop up on the lift. So this isn't the shop where the car is. It's just another random Chevrolet store to verify that the warranty is still active, that both myself and the dealership where my car is currently at, which is another dealership, have not yet been told that the warranty is not active. So we are literally in limbo waiting for General Motors to make a determination on my engine. Okay, and it's been quite an absurd amount of time because GM hasn't even sent out a rep or anything to investigate the motor. They're just wasting time because I think it's because it's my car. They just want to waste my time and waste my money. So, all right, guys, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and put this in my pocket here. And how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. I got a bit of an odd request. My Corvette Z06, the C8 Z06, it broke down on me while I was traveling up in the mountains of North Carolina. So I don't want to drive all the way back up there because I'm from South Carolina. I wanted to see if someone could just pull up the sheet from GM, like if you pull it by the VIN number, if someone could pull up that sheet that shows like where all it's been serviced and what warranties it has active. If I give you the VIN number here, so give me 1 second, I'm sorry. Let me find it. Yeah. Okay, the last 8 are P as in Paul, 5602182. And my name is Brandon Byers. The car has 55,000 miles and some change on it. It's the highest mileage car in the country. Yeah.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. there's some sort of a sheet or something in there that shows the remainder of the warranties, and it should still be under powertrain, and I'd just like to get evidence of that, or if GM says the powertrain is voided, I'd like to get evidence of that.
Not how we want to do this morning.
There's my driver's license if you need that, so you know who I am.
Good morning. I'm looking for Hicks.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Y'all have a good one. Thanks.
So this shows you, for instance, this shows you one open recall, fire rescue.
Morning. Hey, good morning, how are you?
Doing good.
Good, doing well, thank you.
Here it shows you.
Oil change. Josh Brock.
60,000 or 2028.
And if it was voided, it would say there that it's voided?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
but it's not.
And then right here, it will show you different dates.
Right.
Of what's been done.
Perfect. You are awesome.
9 o'clock.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What's your name? Okay guys, so as you heard her say, just so you understand, we're in the state of South Carolina, so I'm allowed to film. And what I'm going to do is, when I asked her the question of what her name is, I'm going to intentionally bleep that part out because I don't want anybody to say, oh, I know who that is, I know what store you went to, blah, blah, blah. In a nutshell, let me show you here. Oh, she showed me that on page 2, she printed out 3 pages, and she showed me that on page 2, you can see here that my powertrain warranty is still active. Now that doesn't mean that General Motors can't void it. And by the way, again, the date today is November 20th, 2025 at 8:52 p.m. or a.m. I mean, it doesn't mean that GM can't void it. It means that GM, as of this moment in time, has not made a decision what they're doing on my car. They have not given the dealership permission to move forward with replacing the motor, nor have they indicated to the dealership nor myself that the warranty is voided. So what General Motors is doing is they're wasting our time, and time is money, because my car is just sitting up on a lift, suspended in the air at yet another Chevrolet store who their hands are tied. They don't know what to do. They've got a locked up motor C8 Z06 because of cloaked detonation and bearings that get destroyed as a result. Okay, so I've documented many times the cloaked detonation, more recently over the summer, and we knew that sooner or later the motor was going to let go, because motors can't endure that kind of stuff. And we've even documented that there are no check engine lights oftentimes when it occurs. Not all the time. Like, I've had check engine lights before when detonation occurs, but lately there's been no check engine lights on the detonation, which is a really big deal. So it's like GM has this planned obsolescence, and all I can say is thank God my motor let go while I was still under warranty. And as I've explained in the last episode, I'm going to do my best to turn lemons into lemonade. And literally, we're talking about lemons here. We're talking about a car that at one point General Motors said that they were going to buy back. I have the email correspondence with them saying that they're going to buy it back. And then they ghosted me and didn't follow through with their commitments to buy the car back. And I realize many of you say, yeah, just get a lawyer and blah, 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 sue them, blah, 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 blah. Let me be clear about something, guys. Hypothetically, if and when I do that, I'm not allowed to talk about that on YouTube. Okay? So you're not the only one that's smart. Why don't you mind your own business and pay attention to the information that I am giving you? Because I'm not telling you right now that I am or am not, will or will not eventually take that action against General Motors. I'm not saying that I will or won't. I'm simply saying let's just focus on the information that I'm giving, and you guys stop pretending that I'm this idiot that needs coached when I've been through this with GM before on other cars that had serious issues that they didn't want to remedy. So if General Motors voids the warranty on this car, and if, it's a big if I were to take legal action later down the road, not saying I will, but if, I could fight that warranty void and still fight for the lemon buyback procedure to occur. So let's just be clear here. If GM voids the warranty, what does that do? It's actually me getting my cake and getting to eat it too, so to speak. Because at that point, the motor in the car belongs to me. It doesn't belong to GM. See, if the car's still under warranty, I have no choice but to give that motor back to GM to get a new motor put in the car. And maybe I'm speaking too soon. Maybe there is a way that I could take that motor and still send it to one of these engine teardown shops before it goes back to GM, and I say, hey, I want a representative present from GM at the shop when they tear it down, but I'm not just going to let GM take this motor back and keep it cloaked from society and seeing what happened to this motor just because GM is honoring the warranty on the car. Will I do that if they honor the warranty on the car? Probably not, okay? I'm just being real. But if they don't honor the warranty on the car and they just say, we have no obligation to fix anything on your car, then at that point, that engine absolutely belongs to me, okay? For the time being, until if later I decide to, potentially litigate against GM to get them to buy the car back and or warranty the motor, which at that point, that would be my only remaining choice because GM, originally GM said, yeah, you can buy the car back, or yeah, we'll buy the car back. Then they went radio silent. Then I reconvened with them after a year's timeline, after they'd ghosted me after several communication attempts, and they wouldn't call me back. Then I reconvened with GM and I said, look, what's going on here? Because I don't want to have to litigate against you guys, but it's kind of like you guys are giving me no other choice. And at that point, they said, okay, we'll take the car into the shop. And that's why I took the car into the shop in Cincinnati and see if there's any what's going on with the car, if it's still ticking, or if there's any, engine lights present. And sure enough, there were these cloaked engine lights that were not lighting up the engine light, but they were cloaked DTCs, diagnostic trouble codes. There were these cloaked codes, okay? So that was a big surprise to me. It's like, oh, wow, there's actually codes in there with no check engine light. There's detonation codes in there with no check engine light. So then I let them repair the ECM. They put in a new ECM because they said that was probably the problem. That wasn't the problem. The car still detonated when I went out and went wide open throttle, same day as I picked up the car. Take the car back to the dealership and, and then have to go get out-of-state tags, do different things, out-of-state inspections, do different things. The point is, ultimately, guys, when I was on my favorite road, which is on a tall, giant cliff where you can easily die, the engine out of nowhere starts chirping. Chirp, 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 chirp. And I wasn't going like all out fast when it started. So there's been other videos on the internet that show the cars doing this. So you can use your imagination for now. I'm waiting to see what GM's going to do. And if they're going to void my warranty, I want to know exactly why they're voiding it. I want it in writing that this is the reason and the only reason, or these are the reasons and the only reasons. I want to know exactly why they're voiding it, because then at that point, what I've thought up is, okay, what you're saying, more than likely, what GM accuses me of being guilty of is most likely not true, okay? Because I haven't done anything wrong, but let's just say that they accuse me of something and say this, because you did X, Y, and Z, your warranty's voided. Okay. Well, that X, Y, and Z, what they accuse me of, I'll be able to overcome that. I'm just making a prediction. I'll be able to overcome that. Not only will I be able to overcome that, I'm going to be able to overcome that in front of 1 million subscribers, as the engine, which then belongs to me at that point temporarily while the warranty is voided, is disassembled on one of these 1 million subscription YouTube channels that takes apart engines. That's what they do. They just take apart motors and they tell people about it. So think about what all we have here. We have the first LT6 that, hypothetically, if GM decides to void the warranty on my car, we have the first LT6 that's been taken apart in front of an audience, okay, has basically locked up, okay? I'm not going to get into the whole story right now, but if you listen to the phone call that I had with the gentleman about his raising oil gasoline motor, LT6 motor, his was raising oil at 1,800 miles. If you listen to that phone call, you'll hear the story of what happened to my motor. So those of you who are like, oh, I don't have time to listen to this, that is the most important exchange of communication that I think I've ever put up on this channel, that just rapid fires through everything. And you say, dude, it's 1 hour and 45 minutes long. Right. And it's completely potent from start to finish with information that if you don't understand that information, you're not a Corvette guy. You are not a C8 Z06 person. You're not up to speed. You don't know what's going on, because that is what's going on right now in the world of C8 Z06 and LT7 ZR1, because they're the same motor basically. One just has turbos strapped onto it. So anyway, back to my plan. And I'm not saying I absolutely will do this. I'm just saying it seems logical that I would do this. Why not? So they take apart the engine on in front of viewers. I have on my side a very short, to the point, bing, 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 well edited. Here's the car when it was new and ticking. Here's the car at 2,000 miles still ticking. Here's the car at 3,000 miles still ticking. Ba 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 ba. Here's the car when it starts making other noises at 40,000 miles. Here's the car when it raised its oil just before that. Here's the car when the engine let go, and now we're up to speed where you understand what it is that you're looking at. This is the highest mileage C8 Z06 motor that's civilian owned on planet Earth. There's been CTF cars from GM that had more miles, but none that actually were driven. And for those of you thinking, oh, well, you took this car to top speed, blah, 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 blah. This wasn't the car that went to top speed, guys. I babied this car relative to the other car. The first car went to top speed. Okay, this car, I took it easy. But the point is, the first car was awesome. The engine on it was great. It made more power from day one. It was just a better car. The second car was just not a good car from day one. And I noticed the power difference after break-in. I started getting into it, and I was allowed to get into it. I can just feel it by the seat of my pants. And when I go back and watch videos of when the car unhooks its back tires on the first car, when I'm up around 70, 80 miles per hour during gear shifts, I can see the difference in power between the two cars. One car would unhook, the other car doesn't. Okay, the second car, the ticking car, didn't have as much power from day one. So it's had a flawed motor from day one. To the best of my ability, it was ticking from day one, and then once I got through the break-in procedure, 500-mile break-in, and so on and so forth, it's just not. Anyway, you get what I'm saying. So, with all that said, at that point, once the motor's taken apart and shown to 1 million plus subscribers, I believe that video is going to go viral, because I believe every Porsche, Lamborghini, Ferrari guy is going to reshare it and say, see, this is why we don't fuck with Chevrolet. And all the Ford guys, all the Dodge, Hemi guys, everybody's going to say, see, this is why the Z06 isn't the king. nor is the ZR1. You're in the same boat with that engine, basically. And it has to do with the fuel system architecture of why the oil raises, is what we believe to the best of our ability to logically reason and understand why the oil in the crankcase randomly raises up tremendously. Lucky for me, I was always on top of it, where anytime I would notice the oil raising, I'd pull it straight into a Chevrolet store. And I have all that documented. And again, I have that documented in states where it is legal, one-party consent recording, and the dealers got mad when they found out I was doing that. But at the end of the day, it's my state-given right to do so, and this is a serious topic. I'm recording what's going on, guys, because this is crazy that my car is, undergoing this stuff when I spent $150,000 on an MSRP of a flagship car at the time. It's a carbon fiber wheel car, 3LZ. So anyway, let's see. So at that point, I could still, after the motor's disassembled in front of everybody, I can still potentially, not saying I will, but I could still potentially go after General Motors in the courtroom as one of my options, where I could still get the car ruled as a lemon buyback. And the lemon case is occurring in a state where there's triple damages on the table to be awarded to me, which means, let's say the judge, and again, not saying that this is going to happen, not saying I'm going to litigate against GM, I'm just saying if a person, and that car was bought in the state of Ohio, buys a car in the state of Ohio, and let's say a manufacturer doesn't make that person an offer of any kind, they just say there's no offer on the table, and let's say the MSRP of the car is $150,000, I'm just using round numbers, the judge can turn around and award the person, the consumer, triple damages on that $150,000 spread from GM's offer of $0 to the necessary value of $150 plus taxes and blah, blah, blah. So in essence, GM might be ordered to, I'm not saying that would happen, but could potentially happen, where GM could get ordered to give me $450,000 and take the car back. And you say, well, what constitutes that? It's when the consumer is treated so unfairly in accordance with lemon law that the judge and or jury, magistrate and or jury determines, General Motors or any other manufacturer for that matter in such and such a situation needs to be penalized. They need to learn their lesson that you can't just treat people like this. Because see, right now, GM, in my observation, my opinion is, they are kicking the can down the road, where they're trying to make it extremely difficult for the buyback to occur, where to the best of my ability to observe and reason, they're making it where I have to choose to litigate if I want to be made whole, which means I'm out of pocket more payments, more insurance, more time without a car that's up on a lift. It was in the shop all summer long. And so if a judge, magistrate, and or jury determine that, General Motors, you should have bought this car back a long time ago, and instead you messed around with Mr. Byers, and your current offer last time, before this hearing is $0, they can go after the difference between what GM is offering and what I should be given. Now, let's say the day before a hypothetical hearing, let's say I were to litigate, not saying I am or am not, but let's say hypothetically I or anyone else were to litigate against a manufacturer. At that point, for lemon laws and state consumer act practices to be made whole under triple damages, at that point, let's say General Motors waits like the day before the hearing and they're only offering what they should have offered a long time ago. It's in someone like my's best financial interest to say, you've waited so long, say this to the manufacturer if they were to behave this way, where they delay on purpose. I can say, you've delayed so long, myself or anyone can say, you've waited so long to delay, Mr. Manufacturer, that we are going to just go ahead and go to hearing, because the legal fees are minuscule compared to what I've had to be forking out each month in car payment with interest and insurance. And so, especially when you offered to buy the car back at step one, when the car was brand new, you said you'd buy it back after you failed to fix it in a timely manner. That's the key. General Motors did not fix the ticking engine in a timely manner. There's laws that say manufacturers need to do things in a timely manner or else. And General Motors likes to go outside the bounds of those laws, especially with me and my cars. I've seen them buy other people's cars back and fix other people's motors very quickly, but with me, they want to play games. And that's where I feel that I'm being bullied. And this is something where potentially a judge, magistrate, and or a jury can say, yeah, we see the pattern here. Every time your car has a problem, Brandon, General Motors takes their good old sweet time to try to fix it, and icing on the cake is they don't fix it. And we see your point. You can't just leave your car in the shop indefinitely forever. You know, if that's what you paid for as a daily driver, and the people at the Chevrolet store are telling you, yeah, it's good to go, it's fine, there's no check engine lights, go ahead and drive it. Why would you, the consumer, not at least get some use out of your car to be able to get from point A to point B instead of have to go out and buy yet another car on top of it? And guys, I've bought another C8 Z06 along the way, which was going to be my next car after this one, but I couldn't get out of this, we call it the ticking motor car. I could not get out of this ticking motor car because every civilian or dealership where I would go to trade it in to sell it to, retail sell it to a civilian or trade it into a dealer, everybody didn't want anything to do with the car. The diminished value on it was huge. We're talking over $20,000, $30,000. Nobody wanted to touch this thing. And so nobody wanted to buy it because once they found out the service history and that GM hadn't fixed it yet, nobody wanted to buy it. Even if you try to convince people, oh, GM's probably going to fix it for you, I'm just not interested in moving forward with this vehicle anymore. Neither are we. We don't want to buy it. So therein lies the diminished value, which is the second part to any lemon case. Did the manufacturer take too long to resolve the issue, and or as far as visit attempts, and or just total days in the shop? And the second part of the puzzle to a lemon case, a lemon buyback or a lemon replacement case, is the value of the vehicle diminished, okay, due to its non-conformity still existing. And so I think it goes without saying that at this point in time, the car is up in the air without an engine in it. So if GM tries to void the warranty on the car, we absolutely have a diminished value. Okay, so there the lemon case becomes a slam dunk. It's absolutely a lemon. And then GM's going to say, Your Honor, I mean, they might, I don't know if they will or not, but they might say something along the lines of, Your Honor, his warranty deserves to be voided because at mileage, blah, 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 he didn't do blah, 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 blah. And they're going to try to argue something. That's fine. I believe that I'm going to be able to overcome that argument, no problem, with the evidence that I have. But in the meantime, before I overcome all that, before I'm awarded potentially triple damages, if they void my warranty, that means the engine belongs to me to where I can put it on a 1 million subscription YouTube channel, and I'm not in violation of even lemon law proceedings. I'm not doing anything out of bounds where General Motors is asking, we need that motor back because we're going to cover it under warranty and replace it. If General Motors doesn't replace the motor under warranty and take it back, it's my property. So I'm not doing anything even remotely out of line to take that motor and put it up on a 1 million subscription YouTube channel and let them disassemble it so that it's documented the condition that the engine was in and what caused the engine to fail. Okay? And that includes the debris that's found within the motor. Send it out to the lab, to the, I forget what the word is, metallurgists, the people who examine the metal and can verify that, you know, there's no sabotage or anything like that. It's just the engine underwent a lot of detonation, and General Motors kept saying, meh, we don't care. Meh, 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 what's that matter? And then the coincidence, again, which is just unbelievable, is this car experiences problems, both check engine lights and non-check engine lights, where the motors let go, on the cliff road, where you're literally on a cliff that's over 100 foot tall, where if you go off the cliff, you're dead. That's when this car, time and time again, is chosen to experience problems. And there's only 3 options that my logical mind can come up with. 1, the car doesn't like altitude changes. But there's other altitude change roads that I go up and down even faster, more aggressively on the throttle, and the car doesn't have issues. So that one's kind of weak. It's like, that's possible, but why does it specifically happen on the road where I could fall off the cliff and die? That's interesting. Option 2 is these cars contain pin drop technology. The front lift, it's a GPS pin drop where it'll automatically lift if you want it to. So the cars have that technology. It'd be very easy for someone inside GM or potentially one of their contractors who doesn't like me, who wants to see something potentially bad happen to me. Again, this is just an option. Not saying this is absolutely the case, just an option. When he's on that cliff road, make it so that his car experiences detonation, and sooner or later his engine's going to let go and he'll spin off the road, and that'll be that. When oil goes all over his back tires, we'll just make it look like an accident. Option 3 is this cliff, this mountain has like some sort of crazy electrical military equipment inside, industrial, military, secret, public knowledge that I don't know about, whatever, I don't know. But it has some sort of like super, just to give you an idea, like radar or something in there, and that's firing out of the face of this mountain that where you're on this cliff. When the car's on the cliff right there, it causes the electrical computers to glitch. Okay? Either way, something's going on this mountain road, okay, with this car. It's been documented several times on video. I can prove it. And in the past I've taken it to Kevin Whitaker when it happens. So just wanted to be clear, guys, that there's something going on here that really does endanger our lives. And I drive all over the place in this car. Cold weather, sea level, Florida, Ohio, all over the place with this car, South Carolina. And a lot of its problems happen on this cliff road, which is very intriguing when you're speaking about customer safety. Why would that happen on the cliff road? And it begs the question why, when Aaron Link and the guys, back when the Z06 was still in camouflage, when we spotted it for the very first time testing against the GT2 RS 911, why was it going up and down the cliff, not cliff road, but mountain road from Yuma up to the top of the mountain? And why, when they were at the top of the mountain, were they perplexed and looking at their laptops and staring off into space, which are photos that we put up a long time ago, back in like 2021, of the car being tested. It might have even been 2020, I forget, but the car is being tested against the GT2 RS, and once they started doing the altitude change road, that's when it looked like they were starting to run into problems. And my inside people also told me they're having check engine lights and codes and detonation, and they are having trouble passing emissions. And this was back as early as 2020 and 2021 that I was being told this about the Z06 LT6 motor. And if they are having detonation that they're having to cloak so that check engine lights don't throw, then that would suddenly explain why, when my car is experiencing detonation in certain situations, there's no check engine light, and why a motor can literally sit there and bite the dust with no check engine light present while the motor's self-destructing, and which is completely against emissions. It's against EPA emissions, if that's the case, which I'm telling you, I believe I can easily prove that. So I believe that I have all the evidence in the world to demonstrate all that. But I've just been sitting back and seeing what's General Motors going to do on my vehicle that's sitting up on a lift. And as of right now, we're basically 3 weeks into the car being up on the lift and over 4 weeks of the car being inside of a shop, at a GM repair facility. We still don't have an answer from GM yet. I think it's been roughly 3 weeks from that the car has been up on the lift, and that they've notified GM of, the exact problems, and the oil filter being filled with metal debris from that's funny, I remember that guy, Native American dude. Oh, I've been to this dealership before. So anyway, just wanted to make that video and fully explain everything so that you guys fully understand, not fully understand, but so that you have a better idea of what's going on right now. This video is about my car currently still has a warranty, active warranty. Warranty has not been voided. Therefore, myself and the dealership where the car is up on the lift, we don't know what to do. We're in limbo. I can't go in there and say, give me back my car. I'm shipping the motor away to 1 million subscription YouTube channel. I can't do that without GM then turning around and saying, you know, we were trying to fix the car and you took it out of there and you know, had somebody else, some third party, take apart the motor. So we're going to void your warranty since you did that craziness. So the ball is in GM's court, and they are taking their grand old time deciding what they want to do. We'll just put it that way. They haven't even, to the best of my knowledge, they haven't even sent reps out to the dealership yet to check out the car. Like nothing. They're just completely ignoring it. And meanwhile, I'm having to pay monthly payments. I've been paying payments all summer. And General Motors has still not reimbursed me for my payments for the summer, which we are now at the 30-day mark for that episode. So I believe that 30 days is ample time to allow a corporation to decide yay or nay if they're giving payment reimbursement under their payment reimbursement program for the 3 months my car was in the shop over the summer in Cincinnati. And so that is its own, not saying I am, but if I decide to, that is its own separate legal claim that can be taken to a small claims. And ironically, the state where the car was tagged, the state where I make the monthly payments, the state, you know, where the payments are mailed to, everything, is the state of South Carolina during that time. So, South Carolina small claims maximum is $7,500, and that $7,500 would be enough to make me close to whole on my 3 car payments that General Motors, to the best of my ability to reason, owes me, because my car was in the shop for warranty repair over the summer, okay, for detonation and U0401, which is also an emissions compliance code. So my car was not emission compliant when U0401 and detonation are occurring, and detonation needs to be resolved as well under powertrain warranty, which is 5 years, 60. 8 years, 80,000 miles is the emissions warranty. So there we are. I just want to be clear in this video, under no circumstances did I say that I'm absolutely going to sue General Motors or that I currently am suing General Motors. I put everything into the if context. If a person in my shoes were to decide to do that, here's the potential outcomes of those procedures. So any litigations that I've had with General Motors in the past, I just want to make it clear that that were resolved, that I was fully satisfied, and that with the outcomes of those litigations, and I'm not speaking poorly about any previous litigations that I've had with General Motors, but if there are any current litigations with GM, or if there's not, I'm not confirming nor denying whether there are, nor am I confirming nor denying whether I plan to take them to small claims for the payments after they've had their 30 days of time to sit there and think about whether or not they're going to reimburse me or not. So for my car payments while the car sat in their shop all summer long. All right, guys, I am going to let you guys go. That's a long enough video. See ya.